viewers, I know what you're thinking. Blake, it doesn't look like you're at a drag strip. And you know what, viewer? You'd be right. Got rained out. So they're moving it to tomorrow. Tomorrow. Maybe. It's supposed to rain all weekend. I was going to baseline the duster, run its 2019 high 18 second quarter mile pass, get it out of my system, and then get that motor back from the machine shop, start doing 360 swap. Still looking for a rear end. I'll take a 8 1/4 or 8 3/4 right about now, because the 7 1/4, she ain't gonna last very long. So anyway, we got a video for you regardless. I know we kind of skipped around on the 904 transmission teardown, and that was over the course of a couple days, maybe a week and a half, as we missed some stuff. So today, me and J-Bo are gonna do a TorqueFlite 727 full teardown, full rebuild, and a full manual valve body shift kit. So when Jay gets here, turn it back on. We'll get to it. All right, we're back. Got the stand set up. We got J-Bo here with the 727, and we replaced Jeremy with my daughter. Aaliyah, are you working on a transmission today? Transmission. Mopar? All right, come on, it's raining. So J-Bo is squirting her down in there.
So if you've been following us, you know how I usually do stuff. I usually order parts that are just totally wrong. A good example of that would be the other Dakota. I ordered 10-inch brakes instead of 9-inch brakes. And I can't take them back because it was too long. But anyway, we assumed that this was an 83 360 904 TorqueFlite assembly, Anyway, with that in mind, we just naturally assumed that for an 83 it would be a lockup transmission. So a lockup transmission is easily identified by this last piece of the spline area will just be machine smooth. So this last 3/4 of an inch. The same thing holds true for a 904 or a 727. This will be smooth here. So, but anyway, we pulled the converter off this and we discovered that it's not a lockup transmission. So I actually ordered a lockup torque converter and it's weighted for the 360.
It's raining, Jeremy.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll end up just slamming the old torque converter back in it. But anyway, and it'll be fine. So it doesn't look bad. This actually was a pretty nice looking casing. I mean, it's pretty clean. So yeah.
All right, well, we'll throw it on the stand and start gutting the pig.
You bet.
Because we team lifted this. Usually one guy just tosses a 904 around.
Right.
I've been to the chiropractor 2 times in the last week and a half, so. All right, we'll see you at the stand. Leah, come on, help.
Oh, no.
Somewhere like that.
All right.
I know.
Shouldn't have whacked them stones down last night. That was terrible. I have to do it myself, but so what the hell? So yeah, okay. Well, start buzzing her apart, eh?
Yep.
Well, a lot of it's 9/16s. These pump bolts are, what are they? 1/2 inch maybe. Tail shaft 9/16s. Take that off. Maybe while it's on. Those.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Peel the pan off first.
Sure. This needs to go on the parts where, actually hey. That's all there's not a lot of, the transmission fluid was burnt. There's a little bit of debris on the magnet, but it's not real bad. Well, here's some.
big chunks.
No, there's no big chunks in it, so that's good. Yeah, it's not real bad. Throw that magnet in the magnet pan. All right, set this right there. We can throw shit in it. Yeah, we got a little slide hammer action going on here. So there's two, I don't know, there's two of the bosses that are threaded on the pump. Of what, six or seven bolts. There's two of them that are threaded for a slide hammer. So, you know, in this case we had a couple. Sometimes there's some sealing washers that come with the kit. Those sealing washers need to be removed. Well, there is to it. But make sure you use that as a tool to help you move it. But just be careful you don't you don't want to scratch that bushing that's in here. So set her down here. Anyway, we'll probably replace this seal here. We're gonna check. There's a bushing in here. We need to check it. Right there, it looks good. Thrust washer. There's some rings here that'll come with the kit. We can replace these if we'll need to. Pump actually comes apart. These bolts here, we'll remove that. We'll check the clearance on the, I always call it an impeller, but I'm sure that's not what you call it. But anyway, that's that. This one's pretty simple. There we go. Damn it. Where's the other one at? There. There we go. All right, dude. All right, let's pull it out, huh?
Yep.
Whoops. Let's just take all these out. Spin this input. There we go. We got her. Came off just like that. Put that back on. What is that, 5/16 or something stupid like that? Back this out, make sure that pump don't fall out, right? Got her. You grab her. Oh, 727 parts are heavy. That looks good. Clutch packs will be in these two. So, and you're looking for like a not burned surface here. Bushings in here. They look good. So that's good. And there's some snap rings here. And these come apart, you know. Oh no. So there's your clutches in there. These don't look bad. Now this looks really good. We probably could have just changed fluid on this thing. Well, whatever.
Right.
But we just want to rebuild it because once we get it in, I don't ever want to have to take it out. I don't want to be like Jeremy, taking it out like 4 or 5 times just for, right?
Right.
You son of a...
Cut.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy's replacement is down for a nap. So we're going to continue on.
So you need snap ring pliers for the snap ring on the front of the output shaft. And that takes that off. There's a little bushing up there. Thrust washer or what have you. It goes right there and comes off too. So I'll stick this over here on the table. And we'll pull the parts out of her. Let's see what happens. God, everything looks really nice. All right, we'll set this over like that. Pull the sun gear out of it. Nice. Another washer right here. Bushing right here. Bushing on this end also. They look good. Yeah. God, I almost wonder if this thing was rebuilt recently or what. Hard to say.
Well, we're in it now.
Oh, I'll pull this rear planetary out and will it come out? Will it come out or not? Or do I gotta take the...
You gotta loosen the band. Oh, no, you got it.
Dump its guts. That's what that looks like. We'll set this over here. Alrighty.
Good job, Jay.
Alright, here's kind of a tricky part here. You got that, how do they call it, a rear annulus or reaction clutch, or it's a one-way clutch, but you got to watch out for these little roller bearings, and these springs all just come flying out. But anyway, and that looks really good from here. Not bad, huh?
No.
So maybe get this band out. Will this band just flop right out or no? Maybe I'll loosen this up. Huh?
Yeah.
There we go. This is a little bit different. They're, 727s externally, just, I mean, all the components are a little bit larger, with the exception of like the valve body. Valve body is kind of interchangeable in a way, but it's, what's going on here?
So then this can flip forward. And...
Oh, and just pop it apart like that. It's still kind of locked in down here.
Yeah.
But...
There you go.
So anyway, this is a reverse band and it looks good. A lot of times your kits, they won't come with a reverse band. They'll come, the more deluxe style kit will come with the front band that we just took out earlier. But usually they don't come with this this cast reverse band because they just, I guess they last for a long time. They only operate like in first and reverse or whatever. But this is actually in nice shape. It looks good. It looks really good. And there's that applies strut. We'll keep these things together. All right. All right. All right, we'll knock that's another issue here is we're going to knock the tail shaft off of this, but we actually need another kind of like a snap ring pliers, like an expander type pliers, but we'll kind of struggle with that with a couple screwdrivers probably. And usually maybe the impact screwdriver on these two, that's big Phillips. So anyway, yeah, that's what we're doing next. Yeah, it's gonna need to be probably hammered, right? Oh, it came right off. Wow, look at you go. Yeah, this is a little unusual to me that this access plate is on the side as opposed to being on the very bottom, like all the other ones that I've ever seen. I've never seen one like this, but it's different. It's later model truck, I guess, whatever. Yeah.
Sounds like Jeremy's replacement just woke up.
She's getting lighter. So is this thing on here? So yeah. This is like the park gear, and that park pod that you pull out goes into, it goes right here. It engages that little dog or what have you, then locks it in place. How that works.
Yeah, buddy.
So that's another assembly there. All right. Oh, all right. So getting kind of down to the nitty gritty. So we'll need that kind of ready to go, I guess, right?
Parts washer.
Yeah. There's an accumulator that just comes out, and that's 2 pieces. A spring on top in this case. Sometimes springs on bottom in some applications, and sometimes there's no spring at all. The B&M kit actually specifies like a blocker rod or whatever that just locks it in place. I'm gonna put that right there. Servo. Got these 2 servos. We'll take these out. It requires that's not too bad. But this one here is going to require like a valve spring compressor. Is that what that is?
Yep. I picked this up for, it says 30 bucks, but I got it cheaper than that.
Oh yeah.
Over at the pawn shop.
Oh, cool. All right. Tink. That snap ring that just needs to come out. There's a retainer, spring to keep everything together, kind of the way it comes out. There's that sort of that kind of. This really kind of. I don't loose. There's a lip seal on here. That'll get replaced. I don't think you don't got to disassemble this any more than just that. Anyway, all that goes like that. So we'll put this all right here.
Oh, there you go.
Well, that works pretty good. Damn it. Did you see that? You missed it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did see
Take
it.
2.
What? Are you sure? Look at that.
Would have been nice to have that when we first did Yermies.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. A little snap ring right there.
Oh, that LED light really messes with this.
There, we got her. All right.
Good job, yeah.
Das Vidania. Okay, here we go. Watch your balls. Now it's kind of cocked.
Where are you at?
There we go. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Too bad.
Not too bad?
Yeah.
All right, here we are. We're back at it. Let's see. Okay, so next step is we're going to remove the, let's see. This thing goes by like 5 different names. Overrunning clutch, one-way clutch, or sprag, whatever. But anyway, this can only turn one way, clockwise. If you try to turn it counterclockwise, those roller bearings lock this race into place. So that's kind of how that works. Anyway, everything looks really, really good. But we're going to go ahead and pull this out so it don't, but otherwise, while we're cleaning it, it's just going to fall out. So anyway, we'll get on that. So this is one of the cases where if you have a cell phone or whatever, take a picture of this. A couple months back, we picked up this book by Tom Hand. Anyway, it really covers everything in detail. It does have a picture of the overrunning clutch assembly. Well, that's what they're calling it here. So, but it shows the orientation of the rollers and the springs. So, you know, while you were putting this back together, you wouldn't want to have these swapped. You know, then it just wouldn't work. It'd be screwed up. So there'd be one case where you'd probably take your cell phone out and snap a picture of that so you knew how it went. But probably be snapping pictures with about anything that's in question. But so far everything's been pretty straightforward. So here we go. See how that falls apart? Cool. So here's little springs. So for the most part, these aren't included in the kit. They're not included in the rebuild kit. They do have a kit that just consists of the springs and the rollers. So if they look questionable, or if a spring's broken, whatever, if you lose one, whatever, it'd be nice to have them, you know, handy. So right now we're gonna put them right there. So there's a little plug right here. I think it takes a 1/4 inch extension. You can actually remove that plug. It'll give you access to this front band apply lever. I don't think it's necessary to remove it, so I'm leaving it. Same holds true for this. There's probably a plug right there. Okay, so this reaction shaft support, you can actually take this off if you feel it's necessary. I don't believe it's necessary. I think it looks good. So we're just gonna leave it installed. Anyway, we'll clean up this gasket area. Then for the most part, we can probably take the case and then we'll probably pressure wash it. We'll do the same thing with the tail shaft once we get the tail shaft gutted. So I'm gonna take this output shaft out, and that's gonna require the removal of the snap ring here. So like I said, they make pliers for that make this really easy. I'll probably just use a couple of screwdrivers and then put a little preload on it and then pull it out. So, and that'll give you access to the governor. Will be in here someplace. So it's always a good idea to take the governor apart and make sure that there's, you know, make sure it's, you know, totally spotless. So anyway, I'll get a couple screwdrivers and whack away at that. So what's going on?
Hey, boys!
Down at the dock.
Oh, still
that
there.
going?
Still there.
Busy?
No.
No?
But there's like, I had to meet a guy. I'll be there at 2. Then another guy's like, oh, I'm just leaving Marshalltown.
And then nobody shows up?
Oh, they're on their way. I don't know.
Then they gotta have it back by 5.
Yeah. No, not for boats. Doing storage and paying bills and paying this, and they're collecting money. So I was gonna squirt out at noon. I'm like, oh, yeah.
What time is it now?
2:30.
Oh my God.
I
We've
know.
been here since, what, 6?
No, you have not. I left the house at 6:01.
So this is our kit. The kit comes with a front kickdown band with all the gaskets and seals. This particular kit did not come with any bushings.
No
we're
bushings?
we're kind of hoping that all the bushings were good, and so far they look really good. So
Clutches and
we
plates.
saved a little bit of money there. It comes with a filter. I don't know, from what I gathered, Ray Bestis are pretty good clutch
Okay.
discs. So
Cool.
I'll need something to get these soaking.
You get the 460 back together.
New steels.
Yeah, I see the intakes on it. What are you doing? You gotta crank this thing up to high beam.
Oh.
All right, so you need to remove this speedometer gear. Pinion comes out. Then little snap ring right here. You need to spread this apart. We use a pair of needle nose pliers. We kind of went like this. Oh, there comes the output shaft. What do you think of that?
There's some stuff on that, but
Yeah, it's probably from...
she's pretty good though.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is the governor here. We'll disassemble that, make sure it's clean.
Okay.
Check that bearing. Let's see. There's that snap ring right here. Kind of a pain in the ass with the not right tools. Way at the very back, there's a bushing, the tail, or the very tip, or the tail shaft. So I'll take a look at that. Hopefully it's just good, and then this here seal gets replaced. I actually like this style, the big boot style. Kits usually have the flatter version, which I don't know, it kind of allows a lot of crap. If you're like in the mud and stuff like that, you would probably want to go with this type of seal as opposed to this one here. This one or this one. So, you know, it doesn't have that boot on it. But whatever, that'll work. And for the most part, you know, our cars, we're not driving them, you know, as much as, well, maybe you are. But anyway, these are better. So, well, we got everything kind of an exploded view right now. So now comes the painful part. We got to clean everything. So we'll be back with step-by-step on disassembling all the sub-assemblies. So there you go. We'll be back.
Jay's got to go get some razor blades because we can't find any in all of Jeremy's garage. Oh, he likes the A-body though. We got tornado warnings. They just paged out spotters, and the sky don't look like she's moving around very much. The sky's heading this way now. Before it was heading that way. So hopefully we don't see any of this way. Because a couple of years ago we seen right down that hillside. All these down trees. We're missing buildings. There was a tree over there. There was a tree there. That whole hillside used to be a lot thicker. That house used to never be there. That's Robin feeding its babies. There's a tornado warning. Get in the basement. Oh, chips. And we got chips. Yeah, chips and Pepsis. Okay. We'll be back when J-Bo's back. Got the case put back together so we can wash it. Now we're getting rid of gaskets and seals and shit. Stuff. Whatever. Alrighty. Got a system coming up from the south. Huh. Who's rebuilt a 727 in a tornado? Bad Tree Productions has. Maybe. Hopefully not.
Clayton County advising all county fire departments. National Weather Service is advising spotter activation. They are recommending spotter activation at this time.
All right, so what? You got that going or what? Here's a pump. Yeah, it's got these 6 bolts. 6 bolts are clocked in such a position or such a manner that there's only one way to put it back on. So that's what it looks like. And this is the impeller or whatever. And what you do is you run a straight edge across here and then use a feeler gauge. And I can't remember what the specs are, but we'll find out. But I use a straight edge since Jeremy's flat head isn't here. We'll just use something else. Ah. Alrighty, just gasket scraping. Gotta scrape this gasket off. Then we'll go ahead and we'll take these snap ring or these little rings off, replace those. There's a little washer here. We can check the spec on that, but there's probably a new one on the kit. We'll just replace it. We'll check these bushings here. These bushings look like they're good, so we're just gonna leave the bushings. But if you had to, you'd have to dry this out. So, but anyway, yeah. So there is to it. So one thing that's different about 904 is the 904 actually separates right here. Okay, so this whole part here and this come out as one assembly. The 727 is kind of nice. It's just this part of the pump housing itself will actually ride inside of this little recessed area. So when you're doing a 904, when you put the two halves back together, you have to get like two big or one big hose clamp, and then snug them down, and then put the bolts in. That keeps the two plates, you know, square to each other. And this one won't have to do that with us, but with a 904 you'd have to do that. So anyway, yeah. So that's kind
Cool pro tip, J-Bo. Or are we calling you Cuda J now?
Okay.
Oh, looks like the rain's coming. Yeah, a lot of rain's coming.
All right, we're back. So you got Blake over there cleaning some nuts and bolts, wire wheel, and we took this pump apart. So it just consisted of these 6 bolts. Like I said before, they're clocked, so they only go in one way. Took it apart, and then we checked the pump gears and made sure they were in spec, and they were good. This particular kit that I've got does not include any bushings, so we're just kind of crossing our fingers, making sure that the bushings are good, and so far all the bushings check out fine. It doesn't have any thrust washers either, so you can actually check the spec on the thrust washer. So anyway, lubed up the pump with some assembly lube, threw some lube on the thrust washers. The kit did come with these new rings, and we lubed them up, and then where the gap is, we got these spaced 180 degrees from each other. Anyway, we coated the front seal with a little RTV, and then slammed it home, and then greased around the seal lip there with some assembly lube. So looks like the next thing we're going to do is mess with the forward clutch. So, and that's going to require our handy little transmission press, if we can find that. All right, here's our front clutch assembly. Actually, this looks really good, and the bushing looks decent. The clutches actually don't look too bad from here. Well, what I'm going to do is grab a screwdriver, remove the snap ring, take this like pressure plate out, and remove the clutches. And we need to get our transmission press. There's a handful of springs in here. They're just little coil springs, and it kind of varies application to application as to how many you have in here, but just keep track of how they're spaced, because I don't know, there could be a space in between, like a set of 3 or whatever, or 2. Anyway, we'll get this pulled apart, and then we'll get our press set up and show you what that's like. Alright, so here's our transmission press. I think I built this back in shop class in '79. Oh, we've used the hell out of it over the years. Anyway, you can accomplish the same thing with maybe some C-clamps or whatever, or some round stock, scallop it, then a nut and a bolt. And you're gonna get this spring pressure off here. It's pretty tight. So anyway, I got Blake. He's gonna go ahead and peel this out. I'm gonna push down on this and get the tension off of this snap ring. So need a flat screwdriver.
I need
2 screwdrivers, a retainer.
got it.
There you go. Oh. Alright. Snap ring out. Little retainer here. And there's 9. There's 9. There's a damn beard here. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, there's this piston here. Got a lip seal there, a lip seal on the outside. We gotta take that out and remove the seals. Put these back where they came. Hopefully I don't struggle with it as much as we did. But anyway, here's a little piston, all right?
Jesus.
So this thing here, well, it's not a little piston, but anyway, it just kind of slides right out. So, okay, there's a lip seal here. This will come out. Lip seal in here too. And they go in one way, so make sure you get it right. So the lip on this one faces down. Go ahead and get a pick in there.
I gotta take a break from that garbage.
Right, right.
You see, Jeremy must have had a hard day because he's already got a fresh case of beer in the fridge.
Oh, you're kidding
He
me.
brought a case of beer and he replaced the Pepsi with the beer.
Oh, you're kidding me. What the hell? That's not right. Anyway, this seal, a lot of times they get brittle and they'll break. And then that'll just cause your clutches to slip. And this seal here does not feel as pliable as like a new one will. These feel a lot better. So, anyway. Trip to the parts washer, take this lip seal out, replace them, throw it back together. Done with this part. Struggle to throw it back together, I guess, whatever. Alright?
Yeah.
Alright, the kit I picked up's got, it comes, I don't know, Ray Bestis clutches. Made in the USA. Let's see, it looks like 4 for the rear, 4 for the front. Kit I grabbed also came with front band. So all this stuff. Oh. Needs to be soaking in tranny fluid. And like that, we'll flip them around, make sure they're coated real good, saturated, what you want. So you don't want to throw these together dry. Like I said, this thing looks really good. This is fresh out of the parts washer. Looks nice and clean. Here's the piston. This is where this groove here is where the lip seal goes. They're new in the kit. Let's see, the kit won't have this, what I call a pressure plate. It's a thicker steel. But all these clutches look pretty nice. I mean, if I was a rebuild shop, I'd probably just reuse them. I'd replace the seals and just go ahead and call that good enough. But as long as we got it tore apart, we want it to last forever. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the seals in this. It's going to take a little finagling. They usually don't go in very easy, but I'll get that set up and ready to go. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna grind and wire wheel till I can't no more. Then I'm gonna take my duster down the old town street to get some CLs.
Alright. Okay. Alright, got a new seal on this one. Kit comes with several seals. Just set them next to your old ones. There's the old ones there. And try to match them up. The new seals might look like they're a little bit smaller or whatever, but that's just because the old ones kind of got old and stretched out. So the new ones will fit on pretty tight. So you can't hardly see that one in there. So make sure the seals don't get, cocked. Make sure they're, in their ring groove, I guess, appropriately. Then I put some assembly lube around this chamfer down here. Try to make this going in. This is always kind of a pain in the ass for me, but sometimes if you just gotta kind of work it. and press down on it. But you'll feel it once it goes, it'll just go thump right down in there. There we go. She went down.
Window and then a walk.
All right, retainer's back in, snap rings in.
To be inside, because we'll have it.
Steel.
Where'd you get the bed from?
Tim Miller had it for sale.
Clutch.
I gave him 200 bucks for it.
Steel.
Then I freaking chopped it all up. And
What's the diameter on it? Like,
it's a 13
Clutch.
foot
Steel.
oh,
And that's what I was looking for.
little.
Yeah, he did his out in Colorado.
Pressure plate.
And we gave him, it's been a little over 3,000 bucks.
Snap ring.
Fuck to not have to start a generator up.
Snap ring goes in just like that.
Batteries and
I'm gonna have everything's up there now. Ryan just swore.
Dino.
All right, back from the parts washer. Nice and clean. Put the new lip seals.
Keep going until you see daylight.
On the outside and the inside, they both face downward on this. So, lubed them up with some assembly lube. And you gotta just kind of work them back and forth like this.
I just been.
And then until it kind of, you'll kind of feel it suck down. But, so anyway, it's ready to go.
Right here.
This goes here like this.
You got the county with the thing. You got the adapter. Because I was
What's
thinking.
it look like already? Yeah, a little bit like
Because
that.
I was thinking it'd be cool to paint this. Paint it black. The train.
Alright. Clutch of steel's in. Here goes pressure plate. That's what I call it. That in. That's good. Snap ring like this. Snap.
Crackle pop.
You bet. Well, yeah.
Something.
Alrighty. Now go over here, put some assembly lube on this thrust washer. Just all greasy as hell. Throw that in place. Sticks. Snap ring. This big one goes in the bottom. Get some lube on it.
Some bottom lube.
Anyway, work it in there careful because these are cast and they'll break. And you got to kind of pinch them. These are the interlocking ends. Ouch, I just cramped up. I can't do it, Blake. Damn it. Because I'm all greasy. There we go.
There you go.
Snap, snap. These
so
little
easy.
snappers. Your 2 ring grooves there and there. These got to go in there. Like I say, be careful because they're. I've busted them before. End up using the old ones. Sometimes these little tips too on the ends, they'll snap on you. So proceed with caution. Where am I at? There we go. Same process. Damn it. Here she goes. This one. Yeah. Snap this one. Oh, they're getting easier. Look at me go. Wait, no. Is it good? Sure it is. Then you wanna orient these, I think, with just about any kind of ring, but you want to orient this one 180 degrees away from the first one, right? Put this one over here, 90 degrees. There you go.
Cool.
Done. Done with this. I believe that's done. So we've got 3 sub-assemblies done already. And about the time it's taken us to rebuild 3 carburetors, right? No. It's taken much longer than that. Okay.
Could have vacuumed my house 27 times by now.
Put this stuff here in the scrap pile. These clutches here actually look pretty good. I mean, they're not worn, or I mean, they're not really worn. There's some kind of discoloration there.
I'll keep them for Jeremy's 727.
Mm-hmm. Rebuild a Bucksdown hippie tranny. Anyway, that's a junk pile there. This is the done pile here. Those are things that are done. Okay.
Sweet.
All right, go to commercial.
Okay. Today's episode is brought to you by I am sick and tired of polishing on this case.
Stop laughing.
Some of the casting marks I took down. This right here was sticking out about a 1/2 inch, so I knocked that down. Just trying to make it
Smooth as a cat.
kinda. Yeah, this was sticking out about a 1/4 inch and this stuff, and you know, when your hands are up in here, I was just thinking of us in the future, trying not to cut your hands up when you're blindly trying to stick bolts in places. So hose it down with degreaser and power wash the hell out of it. It'd be cool to paint it, and there hasn't been any tornadoes yet, so I guess the title of this video isn't going to be how to rebuild your 727 in the middle of a tornado.
It's gonna be how to rebuild your 727 during a shamdemic.
All right, here's sun gear. All right, got 2 bushings, one in the back, one in the front. You can assemble this further by removing these. It's like a snap ring. It's like some kind of ring, but I mean, it's not necessary. So there is a thrust washer that goes on the backs. Where's it going here?
Little tabs indicate.
No, I don't think. I thought sure it came up. It came in here, but anyway, that's where it's going to go. So parts washer, get this cleaned up, then this is done. This is an easy part. Here's the hard part coming up. Yeah, valve body. That'll be probably tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that whole grinder noise that you heard earlier in this video was all these beautiful bolts that we have now. Well, that is part of the truck mount, so I didn't polish that up. Or these bigger bolts, not really that great, but everything looks good and spiffy and clean and ready to ram on home.
So far, bushing's been checking good. This kit does not have bushings included, does not have thrust washers either. So I just opted for a little bit cheaper kit. I've got plenty of this stuff from other builds, so if I needed it, I just grab them. Same way with the bushings. So if you got them, worth your while to throw them in, because you only want to be in here once. But these are good. So should be a good unit. Little assembly lube. Ass lube for short.
Astroglide.
There you go. Done pile. Oh my god. I'm running out of done pile room.
Oh geez.
No, I'm not. Actually, why don't I just put this right here? Check these, make sure they feel good. They look good.
Easy, beautiful color. Oh.
Done.
Done pile.
Yep.
Oh.
Here's a reverse band. Like I said, this looks good. They're not in the kit. You order this separate if you need it. Okay.
Done.
That's done. This is done. This part here is done.
Get it in the parts washer, maybe.
You know, I don't think so, Blake. Oh my God, it's not done. me want the action. All right, the surface looks good. We're calling that done. So all I got left is this governor assembly. Probably disassemble that.
Is it pronounced governor?
Governor. Hello, governor. No.
No.
But anyway.
No.
Well, servos, they get seals on them, some rings. So it's kind of minor Mickey Mouse stuff yet. So, whatever.
Hey there, Goofy.
I can't do it. I just can't do that.
I think Goofy rebuilt my 904. Good
Well, hey there, Jeremy. Let's go for a rip.
Oh.
All right, that's it for today.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
See you later.